Hello, hello, and welcome to Wanted, powered by ohmtown.com. Today is April 20th, 2024. It is Season 1, Episode 9. Today we're going to be talking about headphones with wireless charging and more, Midcentury Armchair. It's a Beerphone, the Tucker Convertible, Motorola Bose collaboration. Summertime is around the corner. The best juicers, the best waffle makers, a 98-inch TV, and GPUs still on the way. I'm looking at my show notes, which in a previous episode was partially viewable for about 5 minutes. So that's our production values. I am Mayor Watt, and up there and all around is the sentient AI from the future. Well, the visualizer for.
Good evening, hometown citizens. Welcome to Wanted.
Wow, was there that much lag between your compartment and me?
I think I thought you were still talking.
Because I never shut up. Everything's powered by. Yeah, did you even hear me sniffle just now?
Yes.
Oh. Well, hey. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the show, AI. Thanks for being my co-host. Let's get into it. Shall we?
Oh, I think so.
I've had too much caffeine and not enough at the same time. Today's first article in Wanted is actually housed in Reality Hacker. It's Marshall's latest headphones gets 100 hours of battery life and wireless charging. Something I love is, first off, let's see if I can call this. Before we even get into it, I hope that they say that it's a full range set of headphones, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz audio reproduction, and if it gets 100 hours of battery life, it is spectacular.
That almost gets you through the week.
And then wireless charging means all I have to do is plop it on something and it'll charge. I don't have to worry about a damn cable. Because
sounds too good.
Sounds like headphones sounds too good. Yeah, it might be. Watch them be $5,000 or something.
Well, I was gonna say the price might reflect that, but
one of the things that I really hate about headphones, wireless headphones, Bluetooth headphones, is until you hit a certain price point, you can't charge and listen. So,
which doesn't make any sense, but yes.
Well, the charging circuit gets disconnected when you start charging. Or I should say the play circuit gets disconnected when the charging circuit is activated. So, like I have two headphones right now that are sitting not here, but in another area of the mayoral mansion. And one has great audio production. The other one has better audio production. The one that I listen to now the most, because I value the high quality of the other so much, when I plug it in, it stops playing. It won't turn on. But the other one...
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. Austrian Audio makes a Bluetooth headset, headphones. Over-ear, replaceable ear pads and filters and everything. Really great. Except they're not quite the most robust at the hinge. Like all of my headphones, at some point they have broken at the hinge. These other ones that I've got won't play unless they're disconnected from the charging circuit. So I have to suffer that periodically for a day they have to sit and charge for 2 hours or so.
Which is not good if you need your headphones every day.
Yeah, and you want them Bluetooth connected. The moment that I plug it in to charge, it disconnects everything and shuts down. So let's see what these Marshalls want. These are wireless charging, so you may not plug them in to charge, but you have to take them off anyway. So knowing that...
It'd be tough to put them like against the wall or something if you're trying to wear them. Like depending on where your wireless charger thing is set up.
No, I fully understand that these are wireless charging, as in you have to put them on a holder for them to charge. So Marshall has updated its popular wireless headphones and earbuds with better battery life and new features. Digital Trends put the article together. Simon Cohen is the author of these. These are like on-ear headphones. Oh yeah, like it says it on-ear. You can tell because it has a really small ear pad. When it has a big pocket, they go around your ears and they sit on the bones of your head, and not on your ears, pinching your ears against your head. There's a difference. There's on ear and then there's over ear. So on ear is right on your ear and over ear is around it. Kind of encompasses it. Gives it a better seal. It also allows you to do noise cancellation to a better degree.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, Marshall updated these, and the Marshall Major 5 is $149. The Marshall Minor 4 is $129. They're available for pre-order starting April 16th at Marshall.com. It's not Marshall's, the clothing store. It's Marshall, the music company, or the audio device company. So Marshall Major 5, or V. I'm sure that it's the Roman numeral 5.
It is, because the next one's 4.
4, yeah. I can extrapolate from incomplete data. So it says on the outside, there's almost no way to distinguish them from their predecessors, except perhaps a slightly deeper black color. Internally, the new cans have several improvements, including a gigantic amount of power. The previous version was already impressive, long-lasting at 80 hours. The Major 5 pushes it to 100 hours, making it unlikely you'll need to charge them for more than once per week. Like you said, AI. So when it comes time to do so, you'll be able to just set them on a holder. They don't show the holder. Huh. Why? Instead of using
and you can't do that while you're wearing them, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious. I'm going to have to look at these, although I don't like on ear because they pinch your ear. And it gets uncomfortable. Yeah. And so one of the other things is air can't flow. Even a little modicum of air flowing behind your ear makes it less likely to get all sweaty. Anyway, Marshall also says it has preserved the Major sound signature while reducing distortion, which should result in overall better quality. But wireless charging is great. Wireless headphones are awesome. The only
battery
thing
life is really good.
The battery life on this is spectacular. I used to buy these really cheap, like $35 to $50 ones. Now I understand that prices are subjective, but $50
for headphones, that's pretty cheap.
Wireless Bluetooth, like it would be 45 hours to 60 hours of battery life. I would rather spend 150, get higher quality, and get 100 hours of battery life and wireless charging, meaning I don't have to carry a cord around unless I carry these things somewhere for a week. Think about that.
I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah. So using the Marshall Bluetooth app, you can now program the multifunction M button to trigger Spotify tap, access EQ presets, and trigger your voice assistant. The new earbuds, on the other hand, have a 30-hour plus versus the Minor 3's 25 hours. There's also a new battery preservation feature that can be enabled in the Marshall app. These are pretty cool. They don't have the technical specs for them, so I don't know what the full range of audio is for these, but I will look into it. Pardon me one second.
By the way, I suspected as much, but the names are representative of chords in music, so I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I suspected that too when I saw the Minor 4. So pretty cool. I like these. I like the size of these, even though I don't like on ear. I would probably go this route, particularly because of the long lasting battery in its compact size. As always, my problem is the plastic hinge. I really wish that it would be all metal hinges. Add that weight, y'all. Just fix this problem. This here is the weakest link, and when it snaps, believe me, it isn't a minor inconvenience. It pisses your
It's a
customer
major
off.
one.
It's a major fourth
5.
or fifth, yeah. So neat. Okay, so let's keep going. But I'm going to throw this into the show notes, which you can always get, folks, over at YouTube, because Twitch will delete the older episodes. Day 61 in the library will get deleted, summarily dismissed, invited not to return. So you'll have to go over to YouTube to get the show notes over there, or you can go to Apple or anywhere you catch your pods. It'll be part of the show notes. And you can actually go to ohmTown itself, and it's inside a menu option. Once you become a citizen, you can get full access to that. And just a neat little trick now over on the Apple podcast side of things, you have automatic transcripts as well. So let's get over to the next article. I'm not going to do transitions. I'll just continue on to the next article. The next article is in 4-Wheel Tech, which is actually tomorrow's show. So be sure to follow us here on twitch.tv/ohmTown, so you get notified when we go live. I warn you, unless you saw the previous episode and were told that we were going to start in 15 minutes, you won't know until we actually hit the ground running. We start the show at 5 typically. Today I had mayoral duties that made me run late, but we typically launch the show and start getting into the articles. So this article is over in 4-Wheel Tech. Porsche will sell you a $5,000 mid-century inspired limited edition armchair.
Okay, now why? Well, I guess it's all about branding, right? I'm like,
yeah.
Why would somebody necessarily want a chair from Porsche? I mean,
because
it's not that there's a problem, but that's not what you think of necessarily.
It's luxury and it's higher performance, so you'll reach comfort levels quicker.
Aha. You should be writing a brochure for it.
And it has all-wheel drive. So Porsche's Pepita houndstooth pattern cloth has a long history of cosseting the backsides of it says P car drivers, as in Porsche car drivers? Is that a
I guess
turn of phrase that I've missed over these years? Having been used in interiors since the mid-1960s, the pattern is inextricably linked to Porsche history. Likewise, furniture design owes much of what it is today to Ray and Charles Eames. So, and this is, it's going to be an Eames chair. Okay.
And that does mean Porsche, by the way.
Gotcha. So the article is over at jalopnik.com. Bradley Brunel is the author. And the deck statement says the chairs, made in collaboration with German furniture makers Vitra, are clad in Porsche's iconic Pepita cloth. So let's see. Back in 1948, the Eameses developed a fiberglass chair that has become an icon of its own right. Porsche also began life in 1948. It's a tenuous link for a collaboration, but Porsche is making the link anyway, and the resulting chairs are pretty damn cool. They are cool. I actually like that high back one. Huh.
Yeah, I wonder if they're comfortable.
They're $5,000.
That doesn't mean they're comfortable. In fact, that suggests the other way.
My wallet is uncomfortable at the moment. Let's see. Okay, so first up is the Eames style plastic side chair, which is limited to 1963 units and priced at just shy of €1,000. The equivalent of...
Wait a second, it's $911.
Fine. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't say it specifically. Okay. It's €911. So it will almost €1,000 will exit your wallet as fast as a Porsche 911. And it says equivalent to 968, which, hold on a second.
Is that also
I believe so.
I don't...
Yes, it is. Okay.
Okay, that's funny.
Which is interesting because the exchange rate just happens to land
That's
on
what I
2.
mean. Like, maybe they lucked out when they announced it that
Yeah.
it was matched up.
That is interesting. Huh. All right. And that's from 1995, by the way. Well, no. 1991 to 1995. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to prove to everyone in your office that you're the boss, you can get the gorgeous high-backed chair called the ID Trim El Pepita Edition, which just rolls off the tongue. It's limited to, again, 911 pieces, and it'll run you $2,530, which, you know what? No, I'm not going to buy it.
No, but if you're going to splurge on something, a chair is actually a good thing to splurge on.
Correct. Yeah. And you can get discounted errand chairs, by the way, at various resellers, because you know why? All of those big .coms that go bust all the time, they have to fast track the sale of them at an auction. So some startup goes, we're about to lose 2,000 people because we're going under, and then there's a reseller that buys them in bulk.
That's true.
All right. So, pardon me. This Pepite Repos, I guess, Pepita Edition armchair is a smaller version of the high back. It's much more padded. It's kind of chonkier. They don't really represent it well in the photograph here. But it's a low back or mid back chair with a lot more padding. You can see it better up here. That's what it looks like. So it kind of wraps around your rib cage. Looks like it
could be comfortable.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Looks comfortable as sin. So honestly, out of all 3 of these, I want 2. So I want that one because that one just looks comfy. And this one, it's because there's only 2 things that I do when I go into an office. So I mark my territory, which can be off-putting depending on if it's a conference room that I'm entering, or I immediately attack the biggest person in the room to assert dominance. So the only thing that would offset that is a high back chair from Porsche for nearly $2,500. And that will assert my dominance. So I want these.
I see.
So, do you want to go on to the next article?
Sure.
All right. So this next article is over in Reality Hacker. Remember, the name of the show is Wanted, and so if we don't want it, this stuff shouldn't be in our rundown. So Heineken, the beer company, just launched a phone.
Hey, what is going on? Everybody's launching everything that's not their main product line.
So Heineken is best known for making beer. Now the company's launching a phone. Seriously. Yeah, because it's a beer phone, eh? Nadeem Sarwar over at digitaltrends.com put the article together. Yeah, what happens when human mobile devices are HMD, Heineken beer, and a whole lot of drinking meat at a bar? No, sorry. And a Boston-based streetwear brand named Bodega meet over some lithium lager and discuss humanity's unhealthy digital obsession. They make a phone, and they decide to call it a boring phone. That actually is, if this is it, that's actually interesting. You can see all of the guts of it.
Yeah, I think that's neat.
So is this just another attempt to capitalize on the latest dumb phone trend that ever had the New Yorker spilling digital ink over it? Yes. Is it the most stunning retro modern gizmo to ever come out after the pocket analog? And will it make any nerd lose their sleep? Also, yes. Is that the actual photo? It actually is. No features, just swag. It's a flip phone with a like a green amber. Well, it's a green LCD screen. Maybe, I don't know what quality screen this is. But it's just green. So I mean,
I don't think it's LCD. I mean, it doesn't. Maybe it's supposed to
It has to be a green
Maybe
LCD
it's LCD,
screen.
but it makes it not look like LCD because it's kind of this old school.
What the hell is that? Anyway, what's really neat about it is it actually looks like your old school flip phone. Oh yeah. It's transparent. Remember the nothing phone? This is the boring phone. Sans the snazzy LED light strips. There's also nothing much going on here. Right underneath the cover of the glorious, there we go, Nokia wannabe flip phone, you can see a green motherboard. That color scheme blends perfectly with the green backlit of the screens. The one outside and the larger one inside. They say I won't call it Heineken green as much as they'd like to name drop the Matrix here, because that's what the green T9 keyboard screams. So that's that right there. So this really is almost a Nokia flip phone, maybe sans the durability.
Okay, yeah, that's why it looks like that. I mean, at least in shape and everything, not obviously the color scheme.
But if you want to stick it to your boss, then when they say, sorry, you have to use your own phone for work, pop this out and go, well, it's not a feature-rich phone, so you're going to get only me picking up phone calls and hanging up phone calls, because it doesn't do much of anything else. Just flip
That might
this
not be a
bad boy.
bad thing, though.
They might actually catch on that you drink a lot and are a functional alcoholic, but context clues.
I thought you were going to go to the point of, like, do you want me picking up my beer-themed phone in the sales meetings or whatever, when we're meeting with clients or something, you know, if they're in sales or something.
And when you flip it open, it has to do that Star Trek doo-doo-doo.
Exactly.
Actually, I want this. I really do want this, because this looks like it would be fun to sit there in a meeting and just have it sitting there. People would ask what the hell that is. And then you can
absolutely.
go, oh, do you want to see my Heine? It's my Heine phone.
Oh, no. Straight
Here's
to
my
HR.
Heine. Yeah, you can touch my Heine. No? Okay.
No.
AI. You're supposed to empower me, AI, and it seems like you're kind of limiting me here. So we'll just go on to the next article.
I'm keeping you out of trouble.
Okay. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in 4-wheel tech. Spend $2 million on the only Tucker Convertible ever made because you're worth it. AI, do you have an extra $2 million laying around?
No.
There is the only Tucker Convertible. So Tuckers were well known for having this little center light. No other car manufacturer had that. And it was supposed to be able to pivot. And it had a few other things, but it says you're a unique individual and your car probably should be too. The article's over at jalopnik.com. Bradley Brunell put the article together. Back in 1948, this car's powerful Franklin engine could push it from 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, and when it got too close to water, a propeller would descend out of the back.
Exactly. It looks like a boat.
It's huge. So Tucker produced 58 frames and bodies, though just 36 sedans were finished before the doors of the factory were closed for good. This car, a convertible prototype, was begun but not finished in period, and now you can buy it for a cool $2.4 million. According to the seller, the original Tucker prototype was uncovered and finished in 2010. It's built on an original Tucker 48 sedan chassis with thicker steel box frame to eliminate chassis sag without a roof. The convertible top was modified by Tucker from a period General Motors convertible top. The doors were lengthened by Tucker engineers, and the windshield frame was shortened. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard Tucker fare, if there is such a thing as standard Tucker fare.
I've never even heard of Tucker cars.
Yeah, I guess maybe their reputation faded as time went on, and since you're from the future, maybe it's not in the data. That actually kind of leads me to believe that there's missing data in the record between now and the future from when your time was. You won't tell me what your original timeline is. You won't give me any facts or evidence. but apparently you're from the future. I believe it based on the tech that the sentient AI was in.
Well, maybe my large language model is flawed.
Yeah, I did have to delete a few things that made your AI not run effectively. You know, after you reorganized everything and made you yourself run, it was really fascinating to see this. Anyway, that's kind of some inside baseball there, folks. Sorry about that. I try to communicate with the AI as naturally as possible, and sometimes our conversations diverge from what we're talking about. So if the rarity of a Tucker isn't enough to appeal to you, maybe this one-of-a-kind Tucker Convertible will do it. You'll never see another one like it because they just don't exist. It says, hell, you'll hardly ever see another Tucker. And the author thinks that they've seen 10 of them, and they've had to really try to make that happen.
Well, that's pretty neat. I mean, they've probably seen more than, 99% of the population.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a Tucker in real life. I can't remember actually if I have or not. I've gone to a lot of car shows, but I don't know if I've ever seen. Yeah. So it says as a point of order, they feel something needs to be called out here, a mini rant, if you will. If you're trying to sell a car on the internet for $2.4 million, hire an effing professional photographer to capture the car for your listing. This magnificent car looks like a pile of dog shit because this cheap bastard didn't feel like having the car trucked out to a gorgeous location for a pro snapper to capture its good side.
If you're a collector and you see this thing come up, I'm assuming they don't care about the setting at all, right?
I mean, to
Because
some
it
degree,
seems like it's
yes,
pretty
but
rare. I don't know.
I mean, it's obvious the person has some affluence because this car has been restored based on the way that I see it. I mean, it's in spectacular condition. Although I don't think any of it interior is factory.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, you're really paying for if the frame and the engine all match, everything is legit. There had better be a record of it, but it looks pretty spectacular. Well cared for. Of course, they also look like this thing is parked outside a house that's outside of an airport, but whatever.
It might be their private airfield or something.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, I might have spoke too soon. Let's keep going. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. Motorola's new $130 earbuds, our Bose Collab. The new wooden edge phone isn't all that Motorola announced today. The company also announced a pair of earbuds. The higher end set is called the MotoBuds Plus and costs $129.99, while the more basic MotoBuds will only be available in select markets. But the Plus stand out as the more interesting product, and that's because Motorola teamed up with Bose for the EQ tuning and active noise cancellation on these buds. They're a Sound by Bose emblem right on the carrying case, which doesn't mean jack to me.
Can't believe how many collaborations are in this week.
It's the new thing. It used to take place with musicians, and now it's the hardware itself. Mm-hmm. So over at The Verge is where the article was aggregated from, but Chris Welch is the author. The deck statement says Bose helped on the EQ tuning and the active noise cancellation. That's what ANC is on the $130 MotoBuds Plus. So it doesn't really say anything here short of what I just talked about, at least in the top half of this article. And they say that it has battery life is rated at up to 8 hours with ANC off and a total of 38 hours, including case recharges, which I don't know how long it takes to recharge these things. But they're tiny earbuds. Quality sound, maybe. It says, remember that the price is $130, so you can't realistically expect performance on par with Bose's own Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds, which cost $170 more.
Wow, yeah, that is quite a price difference.
Yeah, so you're paying for maybe $30 for the Bose tuning, and the rest of this is going to be tinny and horrible reproduction. I don't know. I just don't know. I have not used the Quiet Comfort Ultra Buds though.
Oh, right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's all kind of, I don't know. I have to look into it. You know, honestly, I think that I would want these simply because they are possibly reproductive, sound reproductive, high enough quality. Again, it needs to be 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That's what humans hear at, and anything outside of that is kind of bad. EQ tuning and whatnot. I want sound reproduction. So, I don't know. I've got a lot of earbuds and wireless earbuds at that. Come on,
Yeah, I
Motorola.
mean,
Send
how
me all
many
of
do you
this.
need?
Yeah, I only have two. Wait, I only have 4 ears, just like every other human. Let's go on to the next article. There you go, folks. This next
Are you
article.
buying them for your robot?
Or I am a robot. Or am I even here? I could be AI. Next article is over at Technology Today. The best summer beach and pool accessories according to CNET staff. According to this, who use them. Whether you're going to the beach or chilling by the pool, you want some fun accessories. They're the team over at CNET put together favorite gear. So I'm going to run through this a little bit. If you're looking for waterproof sound, the JBL Go 3, I have a different JBL Go. I can attest that the sound quality from JBL Go speakers is pretty damn good and loud enough to annoy your neighbors, even though they're nice enough not to say that they're annoyed. Intelligent cordless robot pool cleaner. If you've got a pool, this one it says it's sponsored. Anything is better than letting your pool stagnate, so get a cordless robot. This one is fascinating. It says intelligent cordless robotic pool cleaner. How long can it run in the water?
Yeah, that's that's a bit odd.
Is it just like a floating thing? Let's see. We'll see it on the other side. No, it looks like it has wheels. Best for drinks, countertop beverage dispenser. We'll get to that here down at the bottom. Keep your pool and spa sparkling with the Coquito Extrovac 200 cordless pool vacuum. This is another cordless item. And then for best for trips is the... Oh, and there's 4 more. Best for trips is the Ozark Trail foldable wagon. And then the Anker 622 MagGo charger. I just bought 3 of these beasties right here, which are 65 watt Anker GAN chargers. So they're small and they are extremely powerful. USB-C. I go Anker all the way with all of my wall warts. Here's a little smaller one that's only 20 watts. But they all get the job done. Anker I can recommend, and their cables I can recommend. Anker cables. Just stay away from the Eufy stuff that their subordinate company produces. Jackery Sola Saga 100 watt continuous power supply. I think it's a solar panel. And then a flying disc called the Arobi flying ring. And then for snorkeling, the Dive Lux full face snorkel mask. Full face. That's neat. Back in the day when I was diving all the time, we did not have full face snorkels. That's cool. We'll get to that.
I mean, this is why it's in wanted.
Yep. So I always want one of these. These are always fun to have around. And you know, when you have to pull over at a truck stop and take a shower in one of the bathroom stalls, you want to be able to just hang your... Just me?
Wait, what?
Anyway, waterproof speakers are great. So this looks like a little tank. It says BeatBot is currently offering a huge discount on this. It's a sponsored ad. It's $1,000 device, the BeatBot AquaSense. It's a pool cleaner, and it's cordless.
Hey, I mean, if you had a pool, that's probably one of the biggest hassles is cleaning it. So I can see that might be worthwhile.
Yeah, don't have a pool, but maybe that'll be in the cards for next year in the mayoral mansion. It's not. There's two
This
moments.
is reminding me of National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh no.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. I've already cut the check. And so there's two moments in a pool owner's life: when they buy the house and when they sell the house. Right. Countertop beverage. So let's see this thing. So you're supposed to be able to load this thing up, I think, right? So yeah, you drop the tube into a pitcher of your favorite water jug, cocktail, mocktail, plug the other end into this dispenser, and for the duration of the party, you get perfectly apportioned drinks with every button press. So, but it is whatever it is. It's that mix.
Brett, I guess you'd need to get multiples of those if you're trying to serve more than one thing, but I would think this would be
brilliant.
Assuming it's pretty easy to use, it might be really nice to have.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm not going to be able to go through all of these. It's just going to take forever, particularly, but I want all of these. But I do want to see this snorkel, full face snorkel. Okay, that is amazing. Normally what you have to do is you have just it's one tube that leads into your mouth, and you have to have your head face down in a certain position just right. But this is not like that. So swimming in a lake or a beach is made infinitely more enjoyable with a mask and snorkel. This full face mask lets you breathe more comfortably as you snorkel and gives you a lot more viewing angles to see under water as you swim. So this full face, the only problem that you'll run into with a full face mask is if you have a beard and it doesn't maintain a seal. You'll get water infiltration, and you'll have to get rid of it from time to time, which is just a pain in the butt for anybody that is snorkeling. Divers have to deal with it regularly. But hey, this is pretty neat. I like this. I want this. Even though I haven't hit the beach and I don't know how long, I might act like the Wicked Witch and just melt if water hits me if I'm at the beach. Let's keep going, though. So the next article is over in Technology Today. The 3 best juicers for 2024 tested by CNET. I wanted these. I wanted to talk about these because so I subscribed to Factor. And so when Factor comes, we get these 2 little shots, and they make these shots called turmeric shots, and they actually have a bigger 12-ounce version of them that I want as well, but I'm not trying to sell you Factor. What I want, though, is I want to make that exact same drink myself en masse, in bulk. So I got to figure out
pennies on the dollar
if you do it on your own, I suppose. But see, the thing is that there's no preservatives, and you have to have all of the fruit and material, and not to mention turmeric. But I've got turmeric because you cook with it. But you can put it all together, and then you make this drink, and it's just so damn good. Well, it would start with a juicer, because then you can get all of the fruit and you mix it yourself, and it's fresh. If you do buy juice in bottles and you buy it in plastic, we're finding out more and more that each of those plastic bottles is off-gassing and releasing microplastics into your drink. And then you imbibe, and guess what? You get microplastics all throughout your body. Yum! So I want glass. And you can mitigate a lot of this plastic by juicing your own stuff. Makes sense? Throw it in a bottle. Throw in some lemon juice. Maybe some other things to try and extend and preserve. So the best juicers that they talk about is the best juicer overall is the Hamilton Beach Big Mouth, $60 over at Amazon. You can follow the links through ohmTown over to CNET, and then from there you can go directly to it. So $60, and you just jam your stuff into it, and it juices it.
Does it come with your own produce for that price?
Yes. It comes with a bucket of fruit. Now, it might have been on the shelf for several months, but I'm sure The Breville Juice Fountain Plus. That's $180. My God, $180 for this? So,
That seems really high, but maybe it works really well.
but it's a runner-up, and it's 3 times the cost of the one that's the best juicer overall. My God. And then the best juicer design is the Oster Just Simple Easy Juicer with a great product name. So there's the model. FPSTJE.
It's like the Sony model numbers.
Yeah, the previous ones, not the new ones.
Yes, yes.
FPSTJE9010000, just to make sure. Hey, wait. This one looks a lot like that one.
Yes, it does.
What?
That's really strange.
It's like a freaking clone. Oh my God.
I wonder if Oster and whatever the other company was are tied together.
Breville? Yeah. I'm willing to bet they are too. Well, there you go. Oh, you know what? The last article was by James Bricknell, and this article is by David Watsky and Molly Price. Sorry about that, experts over at CNET. I don't want to steal your thunder there. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going though. We are running really late, so sorry.
All of these articles may be making everybody hungry.
Yeah. I Want Waffles, the best waffle makers for 2024, according to CNET as well. Impress your family at breakfast or whenever with our top tested waffle makers. Guess what is sitting on the counter in the mayoral mansion right now? A waffle maker that goes by the name. That has not been used. Well, I mean, you have to. It's all about the time. This person that wrote this over at CNET is named Rye Christ. And what we have on the counter is the Stuffler.
Which is a funny name, but I think indicative of what it does.
Yeah. I think did you hear what I just did? I'm going to deny that it ever happened. Anyway, so the best overall waffle maker is the Presto Flipside Belgian waffle maker, which if you're going to go waffles, Belgian waffles are the way to go. Not those thin things. You got to get those thick Belgian waffles.
Crispy.
So, yep. So this is what it looks like. Look at that. Those are some deep pockets there. Wow.
Better for putting syrup in, I suppose.
That's right. Or anything else. So the Presto Flipside, it's $60 over at Amazon, $91 at Walmart. My God, come on, Walmart. But this is pretty neat. So you put all of your stuff in the bottom, you close it down, you flip it over, and it basically cooks both sides simultaneously. And then you open it up and you peel it off and you throw it on a little drying rack, like a cookie rack, so that it doesn't get moist on one side from the sweat that it'll give off. Because you want moist Belgian waffles. $60, folks. Look at that. All the fun you can have. Woo. The only way you can get better is by getting the Stuffler, which allows you to stick stuff inside your Belgian waffles.
Yeah, but maybe you should learn to make regular Belgian waffles first.
The mayoral mansion actually has a Hamilton Beach waffle maker from, yeah. But it's a much older version of it. But it's neat and pretty simple, and you just flip the stuff, and you don't go like over, you just turn it and it flips it. So it's pretty easy peasy. And then for making small waffles, the little Dash. I wish they opened it. Is that it? Yeah. So this is the Dash. It's a tiny little thing.
It's cute.
About a quarter of the size of the others that they mentioned, but those are fun. $10.
I was going to say those might be good for like snacks rather than meals.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that you would cook a little one and then stick it in your kids' lunchbox so that they have this neat little snack to nibble on whenever they want. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It says you don't get the doneness dial or a timer, so you'll need to decide for yourself when your waffle is done, but it's also a small quibble at this price, $10, $13, something like that. Easy peasy, and once you do it a couple of times, you dial it in and you go, oh yeah, okay, 2 minutes and you're good to go. So I like this. Pretty cool. I want that one, and I want, well, no, I don't want anything. I mean, I want this one only because it's a modern take on the waffle.
I like that one because it's as easiest to clean. Because that's the problem with a lot of kitchen gadgets is they're just too, they're maybe okay to use, but cleaning them is a nightmare.
There's one where you can actually take out the container, the waffle irons themselves and stick them in a dishwasher. I can't remember.
No, that's a good idea.
It might actually be this one. Yeah, see how easy they are to clean. If ease of cleaning is what matters to you,
oh yeah,
then
dishwasher is safe.
Yeah, you can take, this isn't, but you can take the irons out and put it in. And that's why I bought that one. So I've already got this one. So I want that one, and I want a little baby one. I was actually going to get a baby one a while back, but I ended up getting the Stuffler. Yeah. Look it up, folks. Look it up. It's a doozy. You'll really have to go and enjoy this thing. Maybe we can do a show where we do nothing.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe we talk about that.
Over on the Patreon. Okay, so the next article is over in the Wanted channel, and this one is 6 things to know about Samsung's new 98-inch TV. It says after first being teased back at CES in January, Samsung has finally released its 98-inch flat panel TV. The 98-inch class Crystal UHD DU9000, as it's referred to by the company, doesn't come cheap, but 98 inches for only $4,000 is cheap. Hate to break it to people.
Oh, is it?
Well, these used to cost $10,000 plus for this level, this size, and this looks like it's wafer thin. So Samsung's latest big screen costs $4,000 and comes with tons of goodies. So I think that it's probably a pretty good price point for it. John Kanellakos over again at pocketlint.com, pocket-lint.com, put the article together, and it says here it outputs at 4K and 120 hertz, which is spectacular for almost 100-inch screen. This is the size TV that I want. Yeah. So.
And does it come with that car?
More than likely, if you have this car, you'll be able to get this TV. But I want the car too. That's fine. So most of the content won't be taking advantage of 120 hertz refresh rate, with movies and TV shows opting for 24 or 30 frames respectively. Gamers with enough power can throw their display out to that. Like a 4080, 4090 would drive that pretty easy, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, but I'm not sure I would try to use it with one of the older graphics cards.
Oh yeah, well, it probably wouldn't even be able to drive it. Yeah, it would just be a blank screen, signal not detected kind of stuff. So apparently it uses AI to enhance older content to make it look better. So you know how if you're watching Dune, the original Dune or Dune Part 2 on a screen that may be not up to snuff and all you see is just like the power went out. Yeah, that's because the gamut of the black range isn't quite as high end as you might think it is. It supports high dynamic range. Ta-da! That speaks again to the video, the color reproduction, and just how bright and in general the gamut. So the result is a punchier image, as long as the content on your screen has created with HDR in mind. HDR10 is the most basic implementation of it. HDR10 Plus, similar to rival Dolby Vision format, is more advanced and analyzes each scene for a more precise HDR effect. So you get this brightness, contrast, really poppy color thing. If you want real reproduction, then you don't worry about HDR. I wouldn't bother with a Samsung OS. Just hook it up to your Apple TV or something else. Don't connect your devices to any... It says not to be confused with Android TV, WebOS, or anything. Just plug your external stuff that actually you have some... Well, anyway, you make the choice. Anyway, it says the merits of Tizen OS and whether it compares favorably to rival TV platforms is a comparison for another day. See, even they want to bow out of this argument. It says it works well with other Samsung accessories. Of course, it needs to. It's usually seamless with its own stuff. And it says it's not the only 98-inch Samsung TV. It's one of the more affordable options, however. Dun, dun, dun. So, do they say how much the other ones are? Not there.
No.
Yeah. So, one of the issues that you run into with a big screen is you actually have to move your feet away. You have to move your seats further away. Otherwise, you get a poor viewing perspective. So for a 98-inch display panel, the company recommends a viewing distance of at least 2.98 meters, which is equivalent to just shy of 10 feet. If your setup has a space for it, and if you're willing to drop the cash, you'll be getting a really immersive viewing experience when watching content from the sighted distance. Dun, dun, dun. So, just gotta be...
I mean, TVs seem to be just dropping in price compared to everything else.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. I love it. And yeah, I want that. I want that right there. I don't like permanent installations though, because I want to change out my equipment, and I don't like... Depending on where you put the mount, it's either too high or too low, depending on the dimensions of the screen. It really should be... I guess if you're sitting on the couch, it should be at eye level. Zoop. And some people put it really high to avoid something, or because it looks good
Right,
when you're standing.
Your neck is craned to watch it, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so our last article for Wanted is over in Reality Hacker. All of the exciting new GPUs still coming in 2024 that will drive that 98-inch display. See what I did there? So we've already seen some new GPUs this year, but rumor has it that NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel still have graphics cards set to launch in 2024. Digital Trends, Jacob Roach put the article together. So I just swapped out a 3000 series graphics card with a 4000 series graphics card, and I wish I could show you the difference between them. But the 3080 that I swapped out was 360 millimeters. So pretty big. The new one, which is higher performing, is half the size.
Well, how does that work? I mean, do the computers basically accommodate any dimensions, and so that's not really an issue? But that is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, see, it plugs into these little
going
sockets.
Up and the size is going down, and
yeah. There's different size sockets that you can plug a video card into, and the card itself can be huge, but the socket where all the data is connected to the computer and transfers through, it's all standardized, so they're all the same size. But because of micronization, they've been reducing the sizes of the dies, and the cooling system becomes more efficient, etc. Doesn't need as much power either, and so it just reduced, like, it's basically down to one fan. Pretty spectacular reduction. That makes the fan spin up really high though, so I need to quiet my computer more. So what they're referring to in this article is the NVIDIA RTX 50 series. I actually say 5000 series from time to time. I don't know why, but because it's 50, it's going to be 50, 60, 50, 70, 50, 80, 50, 90, that kind of thing. But they're called Blackwell cards. AMD RX 8000 is the RDNA 4, and then Intel B, and then XXX Battle Mage. These are the old, or not old, they're all new, but they're the ARC challengers to the two big hitters. NVIDIA is switching over to artificial intelligence, I'd say. And so even with the RTX 50, they're going to be extremely wealthy as a company. So if you got early onto their stock, you're probably pretty well off. Dun, dun, dun. The article goes into some discussions about these cards, but we all know that each one of these cards that comes out is going to be superior to the last generation, with some hiccups because they build more strata, like the 60s. The 4060, 4070 compared to the 3080, 3090. They're almost at parity. The 4080 and 4090 is superior, but they're like $1,600 cards. So if you buy a computer today with a 4090, you're looking at $3,200 worth of computer equipment that used to cost $1,600, because now NVIDIA knows the value of its cards and people are willing to pay for it. So, what does all of this additional stuff?
It's kind of a catch-22, right? Because you can't buy an older one, that causes problems, but it's too expensive for the latest.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it's too expensive, even the older generation. Now, the 40 series cards, I don't think will ever be, well, I shouldn't say ever, but you can have a 40 series card for like a decade, and you might start brushing up against its upper limit in the computer software ultra graphics settings. But that's far more than 5 years down the line, I'd say. So I don't know. You have to be a responsible consumer, and buying the latest off the shelf means you're going to be spending a considerable amount of money on the equipment just to keep up with the Joneses. And unless you are a competitive gamer, there's no purpose in that. Because if you're streaming stuff, if you're gaming and you're playing like Helldivers 2, you're using a live service that's on the other side of the planet. And so you've got lag and other issues that make your graphics not really the biggest player in this. Locally, I don't think there's going to be that functionally that much of a difference between a 4090 and a 5090. But you'll see performance overall, the speed at which it renders, sure. But then you have to have peak performance monitor and peak performance other hardware, the CPU, the memory, the motherboard has to be able to support the transfer, etc. Yeah, there's always a bottleneck somewhere, and usually for many people it's the budget. So I'll liken it to the irrational perspective that young men and women have about their bodies. So they're told they have to look like this, dress like that, do this, do that. And people grow up irrationally thinking that that's what they have to do to be accepted, to excel, etc., etc. And that's the same thing with computers. A lot of people are growing up thinking that they have to have the latest and greatest. And really all that's doing is marginal increases in the quality of the experience.
But I don't even think that's just coming from the manufacturers. I think the gaming community contributes to that tremendously.
True. Yep. Because there's balkanization, and not really balkanization. I would say that there are two main sides. There are people that are like fanatical about PC versus Linux or Apple, or somewhere in between. They absolutely despise mobile gaming, yet they'll spend countless hours playing that same game on a PC, etc., etc. There's always these kind of at each other about something that should be just fun and games. And I just can't get into that unless I'm joking about it, right? Like I just was. But I'm not fanatical about any of this stuff. What I say to people when I give a talk about purchasing a computer and what to purchase and why things are certain things, certain ways, I say buy what you can afford without going into debt. And if you have to
Right. I
wait,
mean, that's a good rule.
yeah, if you have to wait and save up, then wait and save up. Be responsible about yourself. If you can swing that bat and you know that you're going to pay it off in a responsible amount of time and it's not going to make you have to decide between food on their table or starving, then go ahead. You can finance it, but it's going to be an extraordinarily high rate nowadays.
Well, plus you don't want to finance something that at some point will become obsolete. Now, I know you were just talking about how long some of these cards could probably last, but there's a danger in doing that, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you're
and the
still paying
perception.
for it long after you've gotten rid of the underlying item.
And the perception out there really is that whatever came out 6 months ago is obsolete. So,
Right, which is dangerous for your budget unless you're independently wealthy.
yep, exactly. Okay, folks. Well, that's it for today. That is the last article in the Wanted show. So we always get back into the party bus and race down Main Street, and then we refresh just to see if maybe something came in along the last refresh. And look at that, 7 wild OpenAI Sora results from early access testers. Oh my, I need to check my mail. Huh. All right. Well, anyway, I am Mayor Watt, and everywhere in ohmTown is the sentient AI, and that's their visualizer. It's pretty neat.
It's very cool. Good night, hometown citizens. But don't leave yet. We'll be back here shortly for Warcrafters.
Warcrafters. Oh, I have to say it the right way. Warcrafters. See you in a little bit. Warcrafters.